Jewish education is evolving. Tell us a little bit about where you see Jewish education and how mentoring is influencing the future generations.
Okay. The way I see mentoring affecting the future generations is that when I go into a classroom and observe, or when I meet with my new teacher and we effectively discuss the strategies that we're going to implement in the classroom, how are we going to engage the teachers, how are we going to engage the students, and how are we going to maintain an effective environment, lesson planning, etc. So I envision how when the students are going to leave the classroom, how much more their educational experience will have been. And it won't be just that there was rote note-taking and they just had to absorb all of the material, but how did they become part of the actual experience and education? Did they set their goals on their own? Did they become independent learners? And these are questions that I discuss with the new teachers, and we set goals, and God willing, we're already seeing the products of our labor.
And one of the important parts about this process is the impact, obviously, and the way that mentoring is not only influencing student work, but the growth of the new teacher, because a lot of these new teachers don't have the skills when they first come to the job. Talk a little bit about the impact on both the new teacher and the student.
Okay, so when I see my new teachers coming in at the beginning of the year, very often they may have come from some type of teacher training course. They may have come from some type of educational background where they knew that they would like to be a teacher, but to hit the ground running and to effectively maintain classroom management, lesson planning, and just a general decorum of learning and understanding what their goals are as a teacher. They don't, many times they just don't have that down. And I find that when I mentor them, and when we sit together and we look at their progress, we look at what the goals they have set for themselves and how they're meeting those goals, I see that they begin to understand where their place is as a teacher. They begin to understand what their expectations are. They begin to understand what they can expect from the students, and they begin to understand what real teaching is. And that is something that it's such a big difference, because I see the difference of something being productive versus them coming in not even knowing where their place is as an educator. That just goes as far as educators.
So I want to talk about leadership. I want to talk about leadership and your own leadership and in your school, and how JNTP is influencing your own process.
I guess just to speak a little bit about myself, it was my 5th year teaching, and I was chosen by my school, being that we had quite a few new teachers, and we wanted to make sure that they would feel comfortable and understand their place in the school and what their expectations were, and so on and so forth. So me as a veteran teacher, I was chosen by the administration to mentor a number of these teachers, and I'm also in my completing a master's in education, and with the expertise from my experience as a teacher, as well as studying for the degree, the school felt that I would be able to effectively help the the new teachers in their path of becoming good educators as well. I also started to give workshops for new teachers and trainees in other teacher training courses, and a lot of the strategies and what to focus on and goals have come from my training at the JNTP, because I really came to understand what are the needs of a new teacher through the JNTP. They really helped me understand and absorb what is it that the new teacher needs in order to be successful.
And JNTP has those the trickle down and up effect. How has JNTP as a whole affected your school?
JNTP has affected the school because the way the meetings are between the administrators and the teachers in general have become more focused on, we start with what's working, similar to what the CAL has to offer, and then we have a focus, and then we have teachers' next steps, principals' next steps, etc. And just the structure of the meetings itself have become so much more productive based on the strategy of the JNTP. In addition to that, our staff meetings have become much more focused and much more collaborative and facilitative versus just more instructive. And one last thing that is definitely not the least is that we have now just like from the teacher continuum and the various other tools that the NTC and the JNTP provide, we're able to set goals with the new teachers, and they're able to start implementing new goals that they never even thought about, because the continuum brings up so many new areas of growth, and that has really been a window for the teachers to shine through.